Douglas Island packet. A lot of residents in the county have questioned whether you plan to host and attend local town halls. I was wondering, since you're hosting one now, what prompted that decision to come out?
This event actually started, I think, at the end of the year or the beginning of the year. We were invited months ago. We've actually had to reschedule a couple of times because scheduling is very hard right now. We're in D.C. 3 weeks out of 4. Dataw Island was the first community to actually invite us to do a town hall this year. The first and only one until today. So we just got a second invitation to come back down to Hilton Head Island. So we'll be doing that, working on scheduling that. But every year we do over a dozen town halls. They can be with businesses, they're in communities, they're in HOAs. Sometimes we do them in restaurants. Sometimes we do teletown halls, but we have and host over a dozen every single year. And there are more media here today than we've had at any other town hall. And it would have been really nice if you guys in the fake news would have covered any of our town halls over the last 4 years, but you just refused to.
So you haven't been here, I think, since June of 2024.
That's not true.
Okay, so when
I come down to Beaufort County all the time as part of the district. We take meetings, we have time at the office. Whenever somebody requests meetings, we try to get down there as often as we can. But if you will look at the schedule, and we're in DC like 3 out of 4 weeks a month. And so when we have long periods of recess, you know, we get out. August recess is really nice, and typically in most years during August recess, we're doing like 2 town halls a week because we're here for the entire month and have the ability and the capacity to do more of those. But we really appreciate when communities invite us and help us put it together. It's a lot of resources, particularly when people who are requesting fake town halls for your fake news coverage are threatening to blow up my office, are threatening to kill my employees, are threatening to kill my family, threatening to kill me. That's what's been going on, and that's why you guys are here, because you want to see something bad happen. And quite frankly, it's BS. You should have been here any time over the last 4 years for any number of town halls. We have over a dozen a year. Good you're here today because you want to silence a conservative woman. You want to hopefully show that I will be embarrassed today, and I carry no shame. And as a woman, you ought to think about that and how you report on conservative women. All right, any other questions?
Chris Warren, Mace, Caroline Spikes, Live 5 News.
Yeah.
I spoke with some of the protesters coming in, just hearing
I bet you did.
out there. And, you know, a lot of them were just concerned that this wasn't open to the public. Is there a reason why this town hall isn't open to the public, and why?
Can you tell me how many communities in Berkeley, in your county, Beaufort County, how many communities are gated?
No, ma'am, I cannot.
A lot. So when we're invited down to community who wants to host us for a town hall, we're going to do it. We work with everyone who wants us to come in. This was the first and only community throughout the entirety of the South Carolina's 1st congressional district that invited us to come down and host a town hall this year. The only one until today. And now we just got an invitation from Hilton Head Island, and we work with everyone to have these town halls, and we do over a dozen a year. It's not on your calendar, it's on mine. And a lot of the protesters that are out there today, they're part of a socialist group called Indivisible, but you all know this. These are the people who are organizing calls and flooding the office with thousands of calls a week over a fake town hall. Their outrage is fake. These are people who've never been to a single town hall in 4 years. And we've hosted over a dozen every single year. These people don't show up. They're just doing it for attention. We had a guy, this is my 3rd public event this week where we've had public Q&A, and you know, we had a guy that tried to pick up a potted plant the other day, a man in a dress. I mean, these people are crazy, and their group Indivisible is the same. I mean, this is the group that the messages I posted a couple weeks ago when there was going to be a town hall in Mount Pleasant, another fake town hall. These people from this group were calling in. We played some of the messages, and I would highly encourage you, and Sydney can share you the links, the threats that we were getting, the nastiness, the words that we were called, the threats to my employees and my families and myself. And during that time, we had 2 bomb threats to the office. I mean, this is the kind of caliber of people we're talking about. They don't work. They're out there protesting. They're on social media. They're full of shit, and it's violent, and it's going to cause violence. And that's not what our district It's not what our district is about. And I'll talk to anyone. I mean, we're going to talk to a group of people today. There's going to be a mix of Republicans and there are going to be Democrats in the room. But we'll go and talk to anyone who legitimately wants to talk to us. Also, the other thing I want to say is of the people that have called in from some of these groups, we've called almost every single person back. It takes a lot of time out of the office to do that, but we've done that. And the one thing that almost all of them say is that they hate Donald Trump and they want to see Elon Musk dead. They don't have any need for any federal agency. There's no legislation that they can cite that they want to see done. And you can go ask them on the corner there because they're there, shouting or whatever. But they have no needs. None of them need an appointment at the VA. They don't need help with an IRS refund. They don't have anything they need. They just hate Donald Trump and they have Mace derangement syndrome. So let them be angry. It's fine. But they're also not going to be violent. I'm going to do what's safe. I'm not going to put people in a dangerous situation either.
One more question, and then we've got to wrap up and go.
Representative Mace, Christine Quayle, WCIV, you have a lot of retirees in your district with the state of the economy and the stock market due in largely to the tariffs implemented by the Trump administration. A lot of people losing money in their 401k, they have it in stocks. What do you have to say to the people who are the retirees in your district who, support you and, of course, your support of the president?
Right. We haven't heard a lot from retirees, quite honestly. Those aren't the kind of calls we're getting into the office. Most of the people, we have a huge veteran community. There are some folks that have called in recently worried about Social Security. They're worried about getting taxed on Social Security. So at the state level, Social Security is not taxed. I support the president's plan to not tax Social Security at the federal level. And so there have been concerns about Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid calls coming in. But that's because fake news journalists are putting stories out there that we're going to cut Social Security, and we're not doing that. So, all right. Thank you so much. All right, let's just go back.
If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to me. Happy to
Thank
get you
you.
answered.